It's time again for the Science Ball.
Zuprate for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to this special edition of Science Bowl. The two elementary schools you're about to meet have won once previously. Today's winner moves on to the playoffs. They'll be taking on a school called CMIT in the playoffs. Let's meet today's teams. First, from Deerfield Run Elementary, say hello to Michaela James, Christian Sopa, and Jeremy Martinez. And Greenbelt Elementary School, represented today by Eleanor Calarco, Hiram Hudson, and John Kelly. And now here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
And here on the Science Bowl, our game board reflects question difficulty. Easier questions on the left worth 5 and 10 points. Tougher ones worth 15, 20, ultimately 25. Toughest of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points apiece. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. At the end of the 2 rounds, one of these 2 good-looking teams will come back to play in the playoffs. A lot at stake today. Let's go over and make sure everything's working properly. Christian, would you try your buzzer? A-OK over there. Good luck to you, Jeremy, and to Michaela. And Hiram, would you try yours? Thank you, sir. Good luck to you and to John and to Eleanor. Are we ready to play? Let's do it. May the better team win. We go alphabetically D before G, so Deerfield Run. Let's play the bowl.
Let's get physical for 10 points.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, since they are immiscible, water and this don't mix, which is why when you do the dishes, Hiram?
Oil.
Oil. Water and oil don't mix, so you add an emulsifier like Dawn or one of those other detergents, and that helps to emulsify and break up the oil so you can wash the dishes. Good answer. Go green.
Green things for 10 points.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, your arm and your leg have what same name as the extensions?
Limbs.
Limbs, that's it. Michaela, she was all over that one. She knew where I was headed. Good. Go red.
Body systems for 10 points.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, Michael Jordan was a magnificent basketball player. He would dribble down the court. He did athletic things. He would always stick out this fleshy protuberance when he did all that, Christian.
His thumb.
His?
Thumb.
Not his thumb, no. Greenbelt, Michael Jordan would stick out this fleshy protuberance when he was playing basketball.
His leg.
His tongue. His tongue. He would walk down. He was always sticking his tongue out. That was his signature. Go again, red.
Science potpourri for 15 points.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, I don't know how they do it sometimes. People drink coffee a lot, even though this taste of coffee is nature's signal that what you're drinking might be poisonous, Hiram.
Bitter.
Bitter, yes, it has a bitter taste, which is why Starbucks puts lots of those nice syrups in there, so you can't taste the bitterness. Go green.
Zoo parade for 10 points.
Zoo parade for 10 points. Teams, although tsetse flies, some spiders, and pigeons have no mammary glands, they still feed their young with this liquid. Greenbelt?
Milk. Milk.
Milk, yeah. Milk comes from mammary glands. There is spider milk. I don't know that I'd put it on my cereal, but, you know, if you're a baby spiderling, probably tastes okay. Go green.
Zoo parade for 5 points.
Zoo parade for 5 points. Teams, this subterranean mammal gets whacked a lot at amusement parks.
Pastor
Christian?
Jeremy.
Like those
Moles.
Moles, that's right. Whack-a-mole. Yeah, Jeremy was going all over the place, and Christian, he cut right through there. Yeah, it's the mole. He remembered it's the zooprate, subterranean mammal. Good. Red, go.
Science potpourri for 10 points.
Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, if you wear a Fitbit, it measures how far you've run or swum or cycled. It also counts the number of these you burn up.
Calories.
Calories, yeah. All right. So 1 moment on the lips, forever on the hips, unless you're out there doing something. Go, Red.
Dateline science for 15 points.
Dateline science for 15 points is a visual question. Look at the monitor in the studio, please. And this contraption on Mars can move from place to place. Some of them were called Curiosity. One was called an Opportunity. The name of this device has what same name as a common name for a dog?
Pastor Jeremy. Rover.
Rover, that's right. Those are the Martian rovers. Thank you, Jeremy. Good playing. Go, Red. You're in the lead by 5 points. Go ahead.
Body systems for 5 points.
Body assistance for 5 points. Teams, Santa Claus had this body part. When he laughed, it shook like a bowl full of jelly. Christian?
His face.
No, not his face. Hiram?
His belly.
Another name? Okay, belly is fine. Belly or stomach. Correct. Good. Go.
Zoo parade for 15 points.
Zoo parade for 15. All right, teams. Of all the deer in the world, the only kind of deer where both the male and the female have horns are these deer. Yes, Christian?
Jeremy. Reindeer.
Yes, reindeer. And reputedly, they fly too, right? They fly if you're Santa. Good. Red.
Dateline science for 10 points.
Dateline for 10 points. All right, teams. On August 21st, 2017, bees stopped buzzing in the middle of the day because this once-in-a-lifetime celestial event was happening. Wait till I recognize you. Deerfield, run.
Pastor Michaela.
Michaela.
An eclipse.
Yes, the eclipse, that total solar eclipse. Yes, ma'am. Good answer, Michaela. Go, Red.
Green things for 5 points.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, a book about this kind of tropical forest was written by Rudyard Kipling, and it starred Mowgli and Kai. Greenbelt.
The book was Jungle Book.
Jungle Book, yeah, that tropical forest is a jungle. Good answer. All right. Okay, the buzzer says, boy, that was a quick run. We have a very well-played and well-matched game here today. Right now, Deerfield run is at 115. Greenbelt right behind it, 95. We'll be back with round 2 in just a moment. Don't go away. Welcome back to Science Bowl. Nice to have you here today. And yes, as we went to the break, we were saying it's almost a dead heat here because both these teams have been here before, both having won once previously. Today's winner goes on to the playoffs. Let's go over and talk to the good-looking kids in the science kits with their lab coats on over there, which they just got yesterday. That's why they're just so clean. They look really good. Christian, tell us about Deerfield Run. Who's your principal?
Miss Wall.
Miss Wall. And you've got 2 coaches, don't you? Miss Patterson and Mr. Tucker, and they're both out there. Who's the alternate on your team?
Adani.
All right, and we'll be out in just a few moments' time. Deerfield Run, a great place. You've got a nice outdoor jungle gym area, like a playground, don't you? Because I remember a few years ago when they built that, it's a really nice place. What do you like about Deerfield Run?
Well, they have a robotics club, and they also have clubs that relate to science, like Science Bowl.
Like
and
Science Bowl, yeah. Thank you for
Green
the plug.
Leaders.
Thank you. What's that?
And green leaders.
That's right.
And clothing.
It's a great place to be, you know, and you're a great player. This is, you were here last year, and now you're back again, and you're a wonderful player, Christian. Someday you want to
Be an engineer or president.
engineer or president of the United States. You've got the look, you got the manner, you're a good thinker, and I can see why they chose you as captain. Jeremy, young man who likes the periodic table. What do you like about the periodic table?
I love how it's organized in atomic numbers, all the way from 1 all the way to, I think, 113.
Yeah, we're well over 100. They've added some new elements recently. Tennesseum, named after the state of Tennessee, and there's one named Moscovium for the capital of Russia. So yeah, each of those names has a little history, which makes it interesting. What do you want to do someday, Jeremy?
I want to be a soccer player or an engineer.
Or an engineer. And Michaela, you are a writer. You've got some books in the progress here. Yeah. Someday you might be a famous author. Maybe Oprah one day will pick your book as her book of the month. You know, put you out there. You'll be rich and famous.
I would be honored.
You would. I bet you would be. And we can say we knew Michaela when. Nice to have you here, young lady. Greenbelt, nice to have you guys here. Greenbelt is in Greenbelt, Maryland. Great elementary school. Not too old. That opened not too many years ago. I remember it. It's a great school. What do you like about it, Hiram?
I like the great extracurricular activities, like Science Bowl, and also we have a PEM club.
What is that?
They do dances. These two are in it.
Yeah.
They can tell you more. Also, we have write a book. We have good art classes. I don't know if we're having them this year.
Well, it sounds like a great place to go to school. If I wasn't my age, I'd want to go to that school myself. Tell me who your principal is.
Our principal is Dr. Gaines.
Yes, indeed. Dr. Gaines is out there. And the coach of your team?
Marcin Richardson.
Yes, Mr. Richardson is out there. And did you have an alternate on our team? Because John was the alternate. So who's watching from the other room?
Kai.
Ty. All right. Hi, Ty. I know you're out there and you're here in spirit. Kai, excuse me. All right. What do you want to do someday, Hiram?
I want to be a librarian.
Librarian, yeah. This young man has been wanting to be a librarian. He doesn't even have an iPad. He loves books so much. Yeah. John, tell us what you want to do someday.
I think that I want to be an environmental engineer and try to reduce environmental impact on Earth from
How'd you get that idea? What gave you the idea to do that?
I learned about global warming and stuff, and then I just because I saw something saying global warming on a magazine, and so I was like, what's global warming? And so then I found out about it, and I decided that I wanted to try to stop it.
You're a serious-minded young man, and we certainly need someone to address that problem. It's not going to go away in my generation, so hopefully you'll be stepping up and helping to save the Earth, which is imperiled right now. Thanks for sharing that, John. And Eleanor, are you a soccer player?
I used to play soccer.
Yeah. What do you do now in your spare time?
I draw and read.
And you told me you like the Harry Potter books, yeah? Have you seen the Harry Potter movies? Mm-hmm. How do they compare with the book? Do they follow pretty much the same script?
Pretty much, although I feel like...
Yes, go ahead.
I feel like sometimes they don't follow it enough. I don't want to insult them or anything.
No, and you're not. And sometimes you don't want to give it away either for people who haven't seen the movie. And sometimes those movie makers, they stray from the script when they put together their screenplay. Let's get back to the game. Greenbelt 95, 115 for Geophones run. Lots of points to give away. So Hiram, start us out if you would, please, young man.
I choose green things for 15 points.
Green things for 15 points. Teams, when you think of a corn plant, you don't think that there's a flower there. Well, the female flower on the corn plant is the ear, and the male flower is this thing that has the same thing that hangs from the mortar board when you graduate from high school. What's that thing called, Christian?
The rope.
Not the rope. Good try. What is that thing that hangs from your mortar board when you graduate from high school? That is also the hanging thing on the corn plant that is the male flower.
A tassel.
A tassel. That's it. Thank you, John, for your help. See? Good to have you on the panel. Go green.
Let's get physical for 15 points.
Let's get physical for 15 points. Teams, non-stick pans, when they're discarded, sometimes are bad for the environment because they contain the chemical with the symbol F. What does F stand for? Deerfield run.
Fluorine.
Fluorine, that's exactly right. Our periodic table man is right here. Go red.
Let's get physical for 5 points.
Let's get physical for 5 points. Teams, thanks to a scientist back in 1835 who had the bright idea to put a layer of silver at the back of a pane of glass, the evil queen in Cinderella was able to ask it,
a mirror.
A mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Go green.
Let's get physical for 20 points.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Teams, to save elephants from poachers, they call them geophones underground so they can record the rumblings of where the elephants are walking. Very much like this instrument detects earthquakes. Greenbelt.
The seismograph.
Seismograph or a seismometer? Yes, sir. Good.
Science potpourri for 5 points.
Science potpourri for 5 points. What? Look at that score. Deerfield run 130, Greenbelt 135. We've evened it up almost. Here's the science potpourri question for 5 points. Teams, nicotine is nicotine. It is a bad chemical, whether you smoke it in cigarettes or you get it this way, that so many teenagers are doing now. Deerfield run.
Vaping. Secondhand smoke. No,
No, no. Greenbelt.
Vaping.
Vaping. Vaping is what I want to hear. Go green.
Dateline science for 5 points.
Dateline science for 5 points. Teams, back in 2009, the House of Representatives designated March 14th as this day, 3/14, Greenbelt.
Pi Day.
Pi Day, that's it. Thrilling mathematicians everywhere. Go red, green rather.
Zoo Parade for 20 points.
Zoo Parade for 20. Teams, mosquitoes, ticks, fleas, they can all carry disease. What the initial term describes those creatures? Deerfield run.
Vermin.
No.
Vermin.
Not vermin. Good try for vermin. No. Since they carry diseases, these ticks and mosquitoes and fleas are known by what the initial term, which is also the name of the villain in Despicable Me.
Vector.
Vector. That's it. Go green.
Green things for 20 points.
Green things for 20. All right, teams, a multiple choice question. Sometimes you'll see a sickly plant. It's all yellow because the soil doesn't have enough iron or magnesium. Is that plant suffering from halitosis, acidosis, or chlorosis? Which of those three, Deerfield run?
Chlorosis.
Chlorosis, yeah, the chlorophyll is gone somewhere, so the yellow is left. Good, red, go.
Body systems for 15 points.
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, this lower arm bone has the same name as the distance from the center of a circle to the edge of the ring. Greenbelt.
Radius.
Radius, yes. The radius and the ulna. Green, please.
Science potpourri for 20 points.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, those terrible California fires were caused, oftentimes they were fueled by these Santa Ana winds that came down off the mountains. As those winds come down, they raise the temperature, but they lower this. What do they lower? Deerfield?
Humidity.
Humidity. Good answer. Yeah, go red.
Body systems for 20 points.
Body systems for 20. Teams, the four different kinds of blood types can be identified by what? 3 letters. You only need 3 letters to describe the 4 kinds of blood. Deerfield run, give me the 3 letters.
A, B, and O.
A, B, and O, that's right. A type, B type, A, B type, and O type. Go red.
Daylight science for 20 points.
Dateline science for 20. Score 185, 180. Still very close. Dateline 20 points. One of the oldest turtles, one of the oldest tortoises in the world, Lonesome George, died recently on these islands where Charles Darwin came up with his, yes, Greenbelt.
Galapagos.
Galapagos, yes, where Darwin came up with his ideas of evolution. Go Greenbelt.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25 points is a visual question. Look at the monitor, please, if you would, teams. You know, if you keep fish, you have an aquarium. If you keep animals, you have a terrarium. But if you preserve plants, like you see this man is doing here, you have what H initialed?
Herbarium.
Herbarium, that's right, it is an herbarium. Nicely done. Go green. All right, we have 5 25-point questions left. Our score is still very close. Hiram, please choose.
Body systems for 25 points.
Body systems for 25 points. Teams, quarterback Alex Smith of the Washington Redskins was in the hospital after he broke both of his leg bones because he came down with an infection. Because he had an infection caused by a bacterium called staph epidermidis. That bacterium is found where on everyone's body, Greenbelt?
Below their skin.
The skin, on the skin, on the skin. Epidermidis is what I wanted. Good, go. Skin was key there.
Yes, the dermis. Let's get physical for 25 points.
Let's get physical for 25 points. All right, come on, Deerfield run. Let's grab this one. Teams, recently, astronomers found the Emerald City. Not in Oz. They found it on a star in this group of stars known as Orion. Groups of stars like Orion and Canis Major, Greenbelt,
Constellations.
they are known as constellations. Yes, sir. Go.
Dateline Science for 25.
Dateline for 25 points. Teams, there is a hospital here in Washington named for Walter Reed, who went down to the Panama Canal when it was being built, and he discovered that this colored fever was spread by mosquitoes. Deerfield Run.
Scarlet fever.
Not scarlet fever, good try. What colored, that is a color too. What colored fever was spread by mosquitoes? That's what he found. What you got?
Black.
Yellow fever. Yellow fever. 2 questions left. Pick one, Hiram.
Zoo Parade for 25 points.
Zoo Parade for 25 points. Teams, if a tadpole doesn't get the right hormones at the right time, it never turns into a frog. It will never go through metamorphosis. Yes,
Wait.
sir?
I wish I hadn't run.
Let me finish for Deerfield Run.
Metamorphosis?
What's that?
Semi-metamorphosis?
Not
Semi-metamorphosis.
semi-metamorphosis. No, good try. Deerfield Run. Metamorphosis might not happen if the tadpole doesn't get hormones at a critical point. I'll give you 25 points if you can spell metamorphosis. Who's going to be my speller? Say the word nice and loud and slowly.
Metamorphosis.
That's it. Okay, Michaela, do your best.
M-E-T-A-P.
Go ahead.
Can I restart? M-E-T-A-M-P-H-O-R-S-A.
You had some good letters in there. M-E-T-A, meta, more, M-O-R, pho, P-H-O, sis, S-I-S. Last question of the game is 25 points in science potpourri. It is this. Your body has something called a hippocampus that's found in your brain, but the hippocampus is also the genus of this sea creature famous for the male giving birth. Hiram?
Pass it to
Eleanor.
Eleanor. Oh, I think I know it.
Go ahead.
Seahorse.
Seahorse, that's what I want to hear. And that question means, that answer means we have come to the end of our game. It looks like Greenbelt is moving on. We will be back in just a moment. Don't go away. Welcome back. What a well-played game here. Evenly matched teams. In my mind, and yours too, they are both winners here. But moving on to the playoffs, because our final score today is Deerfield run 185 and Greenbelt 300. Greenbelt is on their way. They're wearing matching shirts over there too. Kai is back there, the alternate, and Mr. Richardson, congratulations. It'll be you against CMIT in the playoffs. Nice round of applause for the Deerfield team. Michaela and Christian and Jeremy Adenyi, thanks for being part of this. And Ms. Patterson, thank you for being part of this. And Mr. Tucker, thank you for always sending us a great team. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on another edition of Science Bowl. Bye-bye.